Hi, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday today, so it's time to sit down and catch up. This week was a big week for BFA news. It entirely 1050% made up for the quiet BFA news weeks leading up to it. They were just saving all the good stuff for this week. Of course, the biggest thing is the BFA release date, an official confirmation announcement thingy. It's coming out August 14th. You got 4 months. If you have somehow not known that yet, it's August 14th. You know, mark your calendars, take your time off work, pre-order your foreign snacks. What else do people do? What do you guys like to do to prep for an expansion release marathon, if that's the kind of thing that you're into? A few days before the release date announcement, I got to go to Blizzard, which was the coolest thing ever. I'm starting to realize as I edit my own videos, I describe stuff as really cool and super cool. And those are, I need more adjectives, but anyways, it was really cool. I flew out there Monday, I flew back Tuesday night. The media event thing was on Tuesday, so I got to see a presentation, I got to meet some other WoW community people. I got to have my own hotel room with 2 beds all to myself, which was necessary because it was really cold. It wasn't cold in California, but the hotel room was cold. And even after you turn off the AC, there's still there's no heaters in California, I don't think. And, hotel blankets are an afterthought, but I was able to poach the blanket from the bed that I wasn't using. Anyways, the Blizzard trip was awesome. I got a chance to interview some WoW devs. I talked to Jeremy Fiesel and David Kolakowski, and that interview is up on my YouTube channel. I will link in the description if you haven't seen it yet. And then I also last night did a video where I talked about everything that I learned there that was new to me, kind of going through those in as much detail as I had for you. So both of those videos are out now. I have one more video from the trip that's going to be coming out tomorrow. That's going to be a sillier thing, a more casual kind of just sort of describing my experiences of my traveling and trip sort of thing. So that will be tomorrow, and then that's all I got from that. Oh man, that trip was both surreally cool and utterly terrifying all at the same time for the entire duration. It was nuts. And of course, we got a whole bunch of news from it. I'm not gonna go through all the news here because I did that in yesterday's video, so check that out if you want the scoop on what we found out. But yeah, I went to Blizzard. Other things happening in WoW this week, Noble Garden has started. It started while I was away, and I panicked, and then I looked and I realized nothing was added, and for the first time ever, I was very grateful that nothing was added. So there's nothing really new in Noble Garden, but of course you can transmog the holiday cosmetics during holidays now, so if you want to wear your bunny ears around and carry your little egg basket for a week or 2 or however long it lasts, knock yourself out. What else? Oh, when I came home from my trip, actually, this is less happy news, but my fishy Flutta, I came home and I look at him and he's got a case of, it looks like fin rot from my furious concerned Googling. So I got home and I immediately started doing 25% daily water changes, and I got him some Betafish medication to specifically help that. And it hasn't gotten any worse since I started doing that, which is good, but I'm really worried about the little guy. And then the other thing of note in my little Hazelland out here is that my apartment construction finally finished. The final walkthrough was today. They were messing around in it yesterday. They were doing a bunch of stuff the day before. It's been over a month of just the most ridiculous disruptions to my workflow and my cat and my dog and my life. But I mean, it's nobody's fault. There's nobody to really blame for it. It's just one of those things that kind of happens, and I am so relieved that it's over now. The wall's back, the floor is back, and I will hopefully, assuming that nothing else majorly breaks, never have to do another baking stream in front of curious and confused construction people. Questions from this week. King Marlexia on Twitter says, there are so many upset people about the contents of the BFA Collector's Edition and how trolls aren't coming right away. I personally like the book better than the art book, and a mousepad for most people is useless. Any thoughts? So I'm kind of with you on that. I totally understand why people would be upset about the lack of an art book. It's something that's been a staple in collector's editions for a long time. And I also very much understand and a little bit feel being upset that Zandalari aren't coming out right away because it was one of those things that was announced at BlizzCon. But I understand why those things are happening. And as far as the collector's edition goes, I'm actually more excited about this one than I think I otherwise would have been. Partly because of how much better they've made the upgrading process. The fact that they will just refund your account in Blizzard balance the amount that you paid for your digital copy if you already had one when you apply the collector's edition code. I think that between that and then I really like the look of the reversible emblem thing. I still don't really know what to call it, but I like it, and I think they would look cool on a shelf. I think that's just a more displayable collectible than the other stuff that you tend to get in collector's editions. The art books are neat, but when you've got a whole set of them, it becomes kind of overwhelming for a coffee table. I'm excited about it. I'm probably gonna get it, and it feels a little weird because I haven't gotten one since MOP. So, I mean, am I gonna do a midnight release? Do I really want to leave my house at midnight on launch night? It used to be not that big of a deal because, you know, during launch time anyways, you were never really able to play the game like back in the day because servers would just die. But now they've like gotten so good at WoW expansion launches. Like Legion was the smoothest launch of anything that I've ever played that was brand new, that was kind of hyped up that much. So, I mean, I guess if I don't need to have it arrive in order to play the game because I did already get it digitally, you have until December to apply the code and get the refund, so I could probably just order it and get it whenever. Clint asks, what type of new pet battle content would you like to see Blizzard implement Get Creative? So, there's lots of different sort of ideas floating around in the universe regarding directions that pet battles could go. Mostly things ripped off from Pokemon, considering where pet battles started. Things like having multiple pets versus multiple pets at the same time. Things like teaming up with another player in co-op at the same time. Those aren't things that I think are really likely to happen or that really fit pet battles specifically. I don't think that co-op pet battles are on the roadmap because pet battling is one of those things that just feels designed to do by yourself when you don't, like, there's so many things in WoW that are designed to be done with friends. I feel like pet battles is one of those things that isn't really set up that way. So I don't think co-op pet battles, I don't really think having multiple pets face off against multiple pets, I think the UI might get a little scary for that. But something that I do think that I would like to see that could maybe one day happen is some form of pet breeding, for lack of a better word, they can call it something else, but some form of pet breeding to get pets that have otherwise unobtainable either combat bonuses or visual bonuses. Obviously, combat bonuses would be a really cool way to do that, or even just quality of life stuff. If you've ever played Black Desert Online and spent any time breeding horses, and I think you can do it with pets too, but that's like really expensive. But if you've ever done the horse breeding thing, that's a really neat thing that you could do. And that actually, I think, brings a lot more incentive to catching wild pets. Like right now, once you've done your safari thing, you've caught all the wild pets, you pretty much ignore them forever. But if you wanted to get a specific color or a specific style or a specific breed setup of moth, and you know, you want to go capture like a bunch of wild moths to try and breed them together to see what you can get, I think a tiered system like that could be fun and engaging. It's something they would need to approach very carefully because on the flip side of that, you don't want to have the best of slot like Bucktooth Flapper, and you need that Bucktooth Flapper to do a certain pet strategy, and if you want that Bucktooth Flapper, you better get Bucktooth Flappin'. Like, you don't want to make it too mandatory. It's okay to have hardcore content as long as it doesn't feel like you're ruining everybody else's day by having it there, and that's a tough balance to strike. It's one of those things that I'm glad it's not my job. I get the easy thing. I just get to sit here and have feelings about whatever they do. They're the ones that actually have to do it. But yeah, I would like to see some kind of pet breeding. Combat bonuses would be cool. Failing that, you could do visual stuff. For example, maybe they make a new type of cat, and instead of having like 2 or 3 colors of the cat, you know, you pay a couple of artists some crazy overtime to make like 20 colors of the cat. But you only have a couple of base colors available as wildcats in the game, but you can then capture those wildcats and breed them together in various combinations to have chances to get those different color varieties of cat. And obviously there would have to be, it doesn't fit very cleanly into our current pet ID and pet journal system. It's just a cool idea. That's something that I would like to see thought about anyways. So that has been my week. Again, if you want to hear about all the stuff that we learned at the Media Day, check out my video about the big surprises that we learned at Media Day. I will link that in the description along with my dev interview. If you have any questions that you would like answered on a vlog, please leave them as comments on the most recent vlog. I look forward to seeing you guys this afternoon on live stream. I'm gonna do some mount runs because I was not able to do those on Tuesday because I wasn't home, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!